So I'll tell you what, man, I know what my biggest like problem is when it comes to this whole YouTube thing and Instagram and other things, right? Is like every time I've ever made videos before, I've always been trying to be pretty much a specific person on YouTube, right? When I was young, I wanted to be pretty much exactly like Elliot Holtz. Every video that I made, I don't even know if they're on YouTube anymore, but every video that I made was exactly Elliot Holtz's voice, Elliot Holtz's ideas, Elliot Holtz's everything, right? When I got a little bit older, I found Paul Chek, right? And every video that I made was me trying to be him and make content like him and share his ideas and everything. And then a little later, who else, man? Like I was trying to be somebody else, right? Like if you look at the old videos on this channel, right? You look at the way I talk, the way I'm even like positioned while I'm sitting down, just like everything about it is Wes Watson, right? I'm not trying to be James Duvall. I'm trying to be Wes Watson in my old videos, right? I'm trying to copy his mannerisms, his demeanor, his way of delivering, the message that he tries to deliver, right? But the problem is that I'm way too like chill of a person, and I'm not saying he's not chill or anything. I'm just saying like I don't have the like level of intensity in just my day-to-day life to like talk like that to people. Like sometimes I do, if it's like a class in the gym, if it's a training session for grappling or whatever, I'll get hype and I'll get loud and I'll be boisterous and everything, but I'm just way too like chillaxed of a person when I'm by myself to try and like cultivate that by myself while I'm making a video, right? And so that was my biggest like downfall before, is like the videos I had, I was pushing a good message, and the message that I was pushing was in alignment with the one that I have now, because I'm still fundamentally I believe that the same things are good, but I was just not trying to get it across in my own way and from my own heart, and in the way that I actually speak when I speak to people, right? And so that's kind of where I'm at now, and that's what I'm trying to do, is to just push my message and what I believe in the way that comes across as authentic and real, because it is authentic and real, because I'm using my own mannerisms, my own demeanors, and my own just way of talking and the way I communicate, right? Because as you can tell, man, like when I'm just by myself, man, I'm not a real hype person. I'm not a real loud person, man. I'm very relaxed. I'm very chill. I'm really I'm not gonna say introverted, right? But I'm just not someone who needs to be seen all the time, right? I'm very like a chameleon in that way. Now when I get to work, I'm actually a lot more jovial, man. I'm a funny guy. I like to play around. I like to joke around. I like to make people smile. I like to make people laugh. I like to make them try to brighten their day if I can, because I just want everybody around me, as much as I can, to be positive and to be happy and to be laughing, and I'm trying to be uplifting to the people around me, and it's like I can't do that if I'm always trying to be somebody else, man. So it took me a while, but I finally was able to just kind of cultivate the ability to be myself and to be authentic, whatever that means, whether it means I'm like somebody else or not, right? So any similarities that you see between me and somebody else is, pure coincidence. It's like I finally am at the point in my life, not just in trying to make YouTube videos, but just in working and waking up and having, social interactions or whatever. It's like I'm finally, only at the age of 29, gonna be 30 next year, am I finally James 100%. I'm finally 100% me, right? And that's a beautiful thing, man. And I want to try to help other people do that, right? Because, when you are 100% yourself, it just feels different when you're around people. Like I noticed once I really just started being myself, and I kind of smoothed out like a lot of the rough edges that I had, I just instantly noticed, man, I became so much more likable, and people enjoy being around me, and I'm able to work and be a part of a team because people work with me, and they understand that, if we're on a team together and we're working in a restaurant or we're doing whatever, man, I'm gonna do whatever I can to help you and to help us, get through this together. And it took me a long time to learn that. That's what I've been really working on this past year and a half, is just being a part of a team and being someone who's willing to go out of his way to help people. And I've just done nothing but grow in that aspect of my life. And I'm so happy for it, man, because not only does that make me become valuable as somebody that people want to have on their team in the workplace, but it really is going to transfer over to when it comes to fighting and MMA and being a part of a team in that way, right? Because one of the big problems with MMA and any fighting sport, any combat sport, is that it's an individual sport, right? So you're only really fighting for yourself, right? But if you can find a way to take that and transfer that to, not only am I fighting for myself, but I'm fighting for my team and the people that have been good teammates to me, then I'm being of service, right? And that's what I feel like being a man is all about, is being of service, right? And being someone who actually creates change in the world, because there's such a bright light that people can't help but be attracted to them like moths, right? And I've noticed it in all areas of my life, man. Just I've shown up at several new workplaces recently due to training and stuff, and people just respond to me differently now that I have kind of become myself. And I've even noticed it just in my personal life, man, because for the last few years since I and my baby mom broke up, right? Because when we were together, man, I was getting a lot of romantic attention. All guys know this, right? Is when you are with somebody and you're in a relationship, oh man, they just come out of the woodwork, man. It's like women find dudes who are in relationships to be a lot more attractive than single dudes, especially single dudes that are recently out of a relationship and that have a lot of healing left to do, right? That's not very attractive to a woman. And it's like, now finally I'm at a point where I'm even starting to notice that just a lot of places I go, man, a lot of women are taken with me. And I don't mean that to be vain or anything, because I'm not the handsomest dude ever. I'm decent looking and I'm in good shape, and I have charisma and charm and I'm funny, right? But I think a lot of that also just has to do with that I'm getting, to be more mature now, and I come across as mature. And so a lot of younger women who 5 years ago had absolutely zero interest in even talking to me are starting to go out of their way to be noticed by me, right? And it really, I'm at the point now where I'm not so much even looking for much in the way of dating and hooking up and relationships and that kind of stuff now, because I'm so focused on what I'm doing when it comes to fighting, and when it comes to MMA, and when it comes to this YouTube and my website, and just trying to get to a place again where I can be a good kid or a good father to my kids, right? It's like, finally I'm starting to get that kind of attention, and I'm not even like worried about it. I'm like, please just kind of back off, leave me alone, man. Like, I'm not even looking for all that right now. And so the real takeaway from that is, like, once you become 100% yourself, and once you mature a little bit, you don't have to age to mature. All you have to do is work on yourself. So once you become yourself, once you mature, and once you get so focused on what you've got going on in life, right, things are just gonna align in ways that you could never imagine, because you're so congruent and you're so in line with the plan that God has for you, that the world can't help but just step out of the way and to go along with it, because you're just giving off a different energy, you're giving off a different vibe. So if you're depressed, if you're lonely, if you're broke, if you're in any kind of life situation that you don't want to be, really the main focus is to just focus on developing yourself, to focus on growing and becoming mature as a person, and to focus on your purpose and your mission, and to find that. And when you do, the world just gets out of the way, man. And so, if you want, check out my website. I got my free ebook on there, 90 Days Transformation. It'll change your life. You will not be the same. I'm giving away 10 free coaching sessions right now to anybody who's in one of those places in life where you're depressed, you're lazy, you're anxious, you're not feeling good, you're just looking to make a change, you're overweight, anything like that, man. Hit me up, book a free session, man, and we'll talk face to face for 45 minutes. And I promise you, right, 45 minutes of just me picking your brain a little bit and getting to know you, and you will walk away with a new paradigm, man. I promise you, it will change everything about your life, right? I always have noticed in my just day-to-day life, man, that people that spend time around me, the number one thing that always happens is they develop a lot more, just naturally, without me trying to do anything, right? Is people who spend time around me almost always develop a willingness and a desire to stand up for themselves that they never had before. And that's the number one thing in life that you have to have any kind of real success, is the desire and the ability to stand up for yourself, right? And not settle for a life that you didn't choose. And I've been trying to do that for so long that it was almost to my detriment, right? So like I'm saying, man, 45 minutes with me, I promise you, you will walk away with a new perspective on life, man. So if you want, drop a like, hit subscribe, comment, good or bad, I don't care. I appreciate y'all, man. Peace. God bless.